Welcome to the 16th episode of Healthy Living with Marilyn. I hope everybody is having a wonderful evening, and I hope that our YouTube is going. Is it, Michael? No. Okay. So we're just going to keep going on Facebook and hope Michael can get the YouTube going. And keep going. Okay. Well, that's the way it goes, Josie. You know, you win some, you lose some, and
perfect timing for our topic tonight.
That's right. That's right. Perfect timing for our topic, healthy recreation. Right, Judy?
That's correct.
Yep, and we are going to be talking about healthy recreation, how you can recreate yourself in a healthy manner using natural supplements, using natural protocol, using meditation, using aromatherapy, using whatever you can use to keep yourself going. My name is Dr. Marilyn Scott, and I am the CEO of Healthy Living with Marilyn, and I'm really excited for everybody to be here. And Josie has been with me since the beginning. Josie, it's been great. It's wonderful.
I'm having a ball.
I know. I am too. I'm having a great time. It's great. And I am so happy to have Judy Richards, who has been a longtime friend of mine for quite a while, and she is also my business partner. And we are working on a retreat for the fall, for October 13th, 14th, and 15th. It's called Creating the Amazing You. And we have decided to have this show tonight so we can talk to you about recreating yourself. The big R-E dash big C R-E-A-T-I-O-N. We want to help you, give you tips and hints and strategies on how to recreate yourself and tell you more about what we are going to be doing at our retreat on October 13th, 14th, and 15th. And I know the 13th is a Friday. It's a Friday the 13th, but that's okay.
It's a good luck day.
Perfectly fine. It's a good luck day. We've had good luck before on Friday the 13th. So
It's whatever you put in your mind.
that's right. That's right. Whatever you think about expands. So if you think about positive things, if you think about happy things, if you think about happy moments, think about all the positiveness that's going on in your life and get rid of the negative. Just let the negative go away.
That's it. Let it roll off.
Let it roll off. Let it just roll off your shoulders, because you don't want to be in a negative world. And when you're thinking negatively, if you've been in a struggle, if you've had a health issue, if you've had a death in the family, or even if you've gone through a divorce or anything like that, it's good for you to get through that, and it's healthy for you to grieve, and it's healthy for you to be able to move through those issues, because that will make you a stronger person, right,
Absolutely. Absolutely. What you speak about and what you think about, you bring about those. So if you stay in that negative state of mind, you're going to invite a lot of other negativity into your life.
That's right. That's right. And we don't want that. Negativity is a no.
That's right.
Is a total no. When I put things on my Facebook page, I put positive things on my Facebook page, because I try every day to be positive, every single day. And being with my grandchildren at the end of the week, I have to stay positive, because I don't want cranky babies. It's the worst thing in the world to have cranky babies, because then you got them sitting on the thinking chair. And we don't like cranky babies, so that's one of the things that helps get me through, though, is being positive, is thinking positive. And I have issues that come up.
We're human.
We're human, and I've had issues in the past. I mean, being a naturopathic doctor, I have taken care of people in their end life. I've taken care of people when they've been really sick. I took care of my grandmother. That was difficult. That was really difficult. And my kids at the time really were concerned about how I was going to handle her death. And I really didn't know how I was going to handle it. I had envisioned myself falling apart, but I didn't, because I got to stay with her the last 2 weeks of her life.
That was a blessing.
And help her. It was a blessing. It was a blessing. And because of that, it really helped me get through, her transforming to the other side, to moving to the other side. And that really, really helped me move through. And yeah, I did cry, because when you grieve, you have to grieve. You have to cry. You have to be sad at one time, but you pull yourself up. And if you've gone through that and you've had struggles with that, that's what we are talking about to help create the new you. If you've had struggles in your life, you've either gone through them or you're still struggling through them, and you just haven't quite figured out, what am I going to do when I grow up now?
Exactly. And we want to, definitely say that you have to take that time to honor your feelings and to do the grieving process, or whatever you've gone through, whether it is the divorce or a health challenge or a loss. You want to take that time to grieve and work through the obstacle. And I think a lot of times that once we work through that obstacle and we get to the other side, we're a different person.
Right.
We've become stronger. We recognize our strength. We're aware that we can overcome and work through loss or a divorce or health challenges. And so then you look at yourself and your life and you think, what do I want to do, or who do I want to be now? And sometimes we don't know. We don't even know how to go about finding out or doing a discovery process about what we want to do or who we want to be. And I think that's the great thing about this retreat, because I know there have been a number of times in my life where I have gone through a divorce. I have gone through loss. I have gone, I've lost both my parents. And, several long-term relationships have ended. And at the end of each of those things that have happened in my life, and I get through to that side, then I'm looking at going, okay, who am I now? And for a lot of years, one of the things I didn't realize was I wasn't asking myself, who do I want to be? And I think what happens is that we let what happens around us, the outside influences around us, guide us and make our choices for us. And I know that's exactly what happened to me. I have lived in several different cities. I've been in several different relationships. And when I look back over those periods, did I really choose those cities? Did I choose those relationships? Or did they just happen to show up in that moment? And I just went with the flow. And so I wasn't being the author of my life, and I wasn't making those decisions. And it wasn't until I met a wonderful lady, a very, very strong, powerful lady that became my coach and mentor. And she really helped me start getting back in touch with my feelings, because that's why I think it's important to honor your feelings, because you can suppress a lot of emotions and feelings. And if you do that, then you distance yourself from your body and from your mind, and then you just become so numb that you do become that sheep that just goes with the flow. And so I think she was really a wonderful mentor. She worked with me we worked together for 8 years, and she got me back in touch with my feelings. She kind of opened me up into thinking about, okay, what do I want to do? Is what I'm doing now what I want to do? What I want to look like? What does my life want to look like? Am I happy? I mean, have you ever really stopped and asked yourself that question? Are you happy? Yeah. And I think that that's something that we get caught up in the day-to-day things that we don't even stop and ask ourselves that question. Is what I'm doing now making me happy? Am I happy doing what I'm doing? And so I think that this retreat is a great opportunity to kind of do self-exploration. We're going to, have exercises where you get back in touch with your body and with your mind. And then we're going to do a lot of creative exercises that you get to explore and you get to play. And it's just going to be a really fun experience. It's very gentle. It's no therapy, because this is an opportunity for people who have kind of moved past the grieving and work through the obstacles, and you're looking about what to do next. And so we're going to be having fun and doing creative things, and there is going to be some challenging of you to kind of step outside that self-imposed box so that you can try on different things, maybe things that you've kind of tucked in the back of your mind and thought, oh, I'd love to be able to try that or do that, but I can't do that. Or people, that's just not me. But this will give you the opportunity to kind of try that on and find out.
So is this targeted for people who have been grieving? I heard you say for those
it's targeted for people who are struggling or who have struggled and have made it to the other side. I was also thinking when Judy was talking, when I became an empty nester, oh my gosh, that was really, really difficult. And if you are becoming an empty nester because we're having this retreat soon after your kids go back to school, and
what a perfect time.
It's perfect timing, right? But there are people who are taking their kids off to college and sending them off to college. So it's not, and that is a type of grief. I'll tell you, that is.
It can be.
Because, let me tell you, I grieved when my kids went to college. My daughter and I, she went to William and Mary, and we used to cry all the time. All the time. And it was so difficult for me because we were so close. And when my son moved to LA a couple years ago and gave me 2 weeks notice, it was, I don't believe this. And, I've told people before, raising your kids is a whole lot easier than giving them wings.
I think
Really?
that part for me, I think, was because I went away when I was young. I was excited for them to go and see the world and know that I'd still be that base for them to come back to. So it was an exciting time to see them go off and explore. A little scary, but I was really excited for them to go and to begin to find their own space.
Now, who was scary? Were you scared, or were they scared, or were you both scared?
I don't know. Well, my son left when he was 13 because he was going to boarding school. So, we've since talked about, the anticipation and some of the anxiety of going away at that age. But I think there was excitement on both parts. My daughter going away was for her college years. And so I think that being the first one to go was probably a little bit more challenging because that's my baby girl. But again, I was excited, and we'd gone and visited, and we had kind of talked about the strategies about being independent.
Right.
So for me, it was giving them the wings and being available. To still be available, because home is always home. I want them to go off and see the world and know that this is home, and home is wherever we'll be.
Right. But if you're going through a challenging time and your kids are gone, and it's like, what are you going to do when you grow up? How many times have I've been through that a lot of times. What am I going to do? Now what am I going to do? Now what am I going to do? If you're in the now what am I going to do stage, you will want to come and go to this retreat because it will help you understand and define who you are. Right, Judy?
That's
Who
right.
you
It's
really
going to
are.
increase the awareness of yourself.
Right.
It's a lot of self-exploration. And so I think that probably the first part is getting in touch and the awareness of where you are right now. And then the fun and the creativity activities kind of open up to see, okay, maybe I want to go in this direction, or maybe this direction, or maybe this direction. just to kind of see where you want to take your life in the next stage. I think we live our lives in stages.
I agree. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And so, you start out as a child, and then you go into being a teenager, and then a young adult and middle-aged, and then, later stages of your life. And I think it's important to make the most out of each of those stages. So I think that, wherever you are, this workshop will really help you kind of take a self-exploration, an inventory of where you are, and determine, do I need to make some changes? Do I want to try on different things? And we'll have fun looking at those different things.
Right. I'm just really excited about it because my goal in life is to help other people be the best they can be.
Exactly.
When somebody comes to me and says, Marilyn, I don't feel good, can you help me out? Years ago, I had a lot of clients who were in the end stages of cancer, and their doctors said, go home and get your papers ready and stuff. And they came to me and they said, well, we heard that you could help us out. So I was helping them out with natural protocol and gave them a good quality of life. And that made them feel a whole lot better. Now, I like to give people a better quality of life. I like to, when my mother called this morning, she was having a difficult time. I spent time talking to her because my mother normally doesn't call me 10 minutes before the boys come. So, because she knows I'm preparing for the boys. And, but she called and she was struggling. And sometimes you just need to stop and listen. And even if you don't have the answer, stop and listen, because listening is the most important part. And in this retreat, we're going to be doing a lot of listening, a whole lot of listening, and helping you out with learning the new you.
Exactly. And I think one of the biggest lessons that my daughter taught me was that when she would call and she would be upset, was I learned to ask the question, do you want me to just listen or do you want me to offer advice? And it took me a couple of years before I learned that little trick, and it was kind of and when I finally fell on that, asking the question first to find out, number one, where she was and just what it was I could do to help her, it was, she really gave me good guidance then when she'd call,
My daughter said that to me one day. Now, my daughter is an LPC, my youngest. She's a licensed professional counselor. Now, she's a stay-at-home mom right now, but for 8 years she worked downtown and listened to people's issues. And one day she said to me, she says, Mom, you don't listen to us. And evidently all three had been talking to one another. And I was like you, Judy. It took me a while to sit there and listen and not give any type an opinion or say, yeah, this happened to me when I was young or anything like that. Just sit and listen to what they have to say. Sometimes my other daughter wants to talk, and I will sit and listen. Now, there's times when I want to say something, but for whatever reason, my intuition says, no, you have to sit and listen.
Right.
You have to listen. That's all you need to do. Just be there and listen.
That's a hard lesson sometimes to learn.
It is.
I think when I got my first cancer diagnosis, I realized that I didn't know how long I'd be here. And so it was really important for me to pull back from my children in terms of directing them and trying to direct them, because I needed to be able to see them and to see that they would be fine with or without me. And so that was a big lesson for me, learning how to not interject my opinion all the time, or not to say, if I were you, because sometimes we just instinctively, if I were you, this is what I'd do. And parents, I think we do that instinctively because we want to try and help our children not go through some of the bumps and bruises that we did. But we have to give them their wings. We were talking about that earlier. We have to give them their wings and let them be their own people, make their own mistakes, don't judge, and be available. And even do that with our friends and with ourselves.
Right.
With
That's
ourselves.
a very good point about not judging, because they need to know that you're going to be open and, love them no matter what.
Yeah.
And that they're, we give unconditional love. And that's definitely the same with our friends. I mean, I have friends that I've known for over 50 years, and they've been there through so many things with me. And always the unconditional love. And
Right.
the calling them and them just listening, and then, a lot of times they would provide good advice and direction. And that's, the same thing like with my daughter, that, sometimes she just wants someone to listen,
To listen.
or
Yeah.
sometimes she wants direction.
And that's
Yeah.
what we want, often, especially in spousal relationships, sometimes men's desire is to fix things. And I have to tell my husband when I'm telling him something, I'm just sharing information. I don't need him to go into overdrive to figure out how to fix it, how to make everything okay for me. Sometimes I just need to work it out. I need to figure it out, but I need to vocalize first what I'm experiencing and just have somebody, hear me.
Yeah.
And so we do a disservice when we interrupt that process of people finding their way.
Right. Right. And we do.
Exactly.
We really do. And I think listening is one of the major things that you need to do with any relationship. Even with
Friendships, whatever.
friendships, your grandchildren, even my 3-year-old. Well, he'll be 3 in under 2 weeks, 12 days.
Yeah, because
11
there's
days.
wisdom there.
Yeah, I know.
There's wisdom there
Oh my
already.
goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, he's just so smart.
I think
he's
they've been
taught
here
me.
before.
I think he has.
Kids come here with so much wisdom already, and as adults we stifle that. By don't do that, or saying no, or not letting them explore, trying to protect them when we think we know better.
Right,
And we stifle it in ourselves.
we do.
Because we've heard no.
Yeah.
We've had people
And that-
stomp on our dreams and our goals.
And that no is like a lot of times indelibly etched in our brain.
And
People saying you can't, you'll never, or why would you, and you hear that when you try to step out and make decisions, and you're thinking, should I, will they, will this work? We become doubtful of ourselves. And so,
Yes.
I'm excited. This will be a chance for people to become their own super women.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you're coming, aren't you? Aren't you coming?
I'm working on it. I'm trying to reschedule something that has popped up, but
Good,
it's going to be a great weekend.
good, good.
So I think one of the things that we forget, that as children and we played, we tried on different things.
Yeah.
And that helped to develop us, and also to help create what we were interested in. And so that's what I think one of the really neat things about this workshop is that we'll get to play, and we'll get to create, and we get to try on things. So I think it's important, that we're going to do a lot of the getting in touch with your body and with your mind, and but then we're going to kind of create it like a blank canvas, and from the blank canvas, then we'll do the creative activities so that we can then try on different things and start building what you want to do or be in the next stage of your life. So
And who wouldn't want to play for a weekend? Really, who wouldn't want to play
And
for
at
a
a
weekend?
beautiful location.
Yep, at the Hyatt
The
place up
Hyatt,
at Short Pump.
Exactly.
There's all kinds of new stuff out there too.
Yes, there
Oh
is.
God, I was out there yesterday, and there's new stuff popping up, and the owner of the boathouse just announced that there are 2 more restaurants coming out there.
Oh, really?
I'm like, whoa.
Now, I haven't been able to get up there because I didn't have a car this week. That was a change for me because I had to go get my car repaired, and I decided not to get a rental car. So I was at the mercy of my chauffeur husband, which it was very nice that he took time out to take me where I needed to go. I didn't need to go to too many places, but he took me where I needed to go, and he's the type of guy that will stop and he's a good listener, by the way, and he stops and he'll help me out. And when I got my car today and picked it up later this afternoon, I thought, man, I really didn't need a car. And I made it through that for me was a change. Because I'm thinking, oh, I'm not going to have a car. I won't be able to do this. I can't do that. But it got to the point where it didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
It did, and it was a change in my life because not having a car, you know.
Well, I have to admit that I rent a car when I go take my car to get an oil change. I have got to have a car. Not having a car is just too hard for me. So
Really,
Gotta do what you gotta do.
you know,
That's
you gotta
right.
well,
I take my car in, the car company comes and picks me, the rent-a-car company comes picks me up, and I have my car to run my errands, and then I take it back, and
I thought about it, Judy, but I just decided at this point in this week, I didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want to deal with the hassle, and I'm trying to live the keep it super simple life, and to me, that wasn't keeping it super simple for me this week. And my intuition says you don't need it, you don't need it. And I'm really into listening to my intuition to the point where sometimes it's nagging me over here. Because my brain says, I really want to do this. And my intuition says, no, you don't.
But you have options.
I do have options. I do.
and
that's
it's
the key thing
different
is you
for
have options.
everyone. Yeah.
Because there are times that I'll get a rental car and I've got an extra car at home. But, you know, there are things that the dealer provides one for. So if they will provide it, I'll take it.
Right.
You
That's
know?
something different. That's something totally different.
But what we have is that it's different for each of us.
For everybody.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if you're not in touch with yourself, you're not sure what that
Right.
looks
What
like
that
for
is.
yourself.
Right.
Right.
And I might have heard you say, you don't need to rent a car, so I maybe wouldn't have gotten a rent a car because that's going with the outside influences and the flow of what's going on around me, instead of knowing, no, I need a car because I need to run all these errands, or I just need to have that car.
And you want it. So,
Exactly.
And you
So
have
I
the
make
choice
that
to get it.
decision for
Right.
myself.
You have the choice to get it.
My choice this week, I didn't need it. You know? And it's like, okay, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Exactly.
And with the two kids, I normally don't take them out by myself. I mean, that's been a big change. I normally just stay home with them. If I go out, my husband goes with me. You know, because I need that. It's nice to have that support.
Extra two hands.
Extra two hands, extra eyes, you know, just extra everything, a whole extra person. And, you know, through this retreat, you might find that you might need an extra person, or you might not need an extra person, or, you know, you might transform into something that you really want to be. Right, Judy?
Or discover you are enough.
Right.
That you're enough all by yourself.
That's right.
Oftentimes people look outside of others for validation, you know, and sometimes we have to realize, you know, we're enough.
That's right. The other thing is, you know, a lot of people, I used to do this, I want to be like them. I want to be like them. I don't do that anymore.
No.
Grass is always greener on the other side.
That's right.
Yeah.
But you know something? Joyce Meyer
Sometimes it's
says,
artificial.
yeah. But the other thing is, what Joyce Meyer used to say, yeah, the grass might be greener on the other side, but you always got to mow it.
I
It could
love
be
Joyce
artificial
Meyer.
grass.
That's
Yeah.
great.
But you always got to mow it. So I just think it's really important for people to step outside of their comfort zone, because when we're in our comfort zone, we become complacent. We're not subject to change. We don't want to change, and yet we're going through this struggle. Do I or don't I? Will I or won't I? And we want to enlighten you. I mean, that's why I have Healthy Living with Marilyn. On my goal, and Josie's goal, and even Judy's goal, our goal is to enlighten you to be the best person that you can possibly be, no matter what you want to do. No matter what. Right, Josie?
Yeah.
You know, I've been through a lot. I've been through a divorce. My father passed away in my arms. My grandmother passed away in my arms. I've had clients pass away in my arms that were close to me. My mother is still alive. God bless her. She's 88 years old, but she's going through her own struggles right now. And, you know, it's difficult at times. And I've really worked on my listening skills. You know, just to sit there and listen to my mom and just listen to her go off. And sometimes when my kids call me up, and I'm getting better at listening. Listening is hard. It's a hard thing to work on, I think.
Well, the first thing we have to think about is that we have 2 ears.
Yep. And one mouth.
One mouth. Listen twice as much as you talk.
That's a great rule of thumb. I can remember when my mother has passed, and I can remember as she got older, she started into dementia. And really all she wanted was someone to come and visit and sit and listen. But because of the dementia, she would forget what she had told you. So, you know, you'd go and sit with her for several hours and she'd tell you the same thing over and over again. And I would just sit there quietly and listen, and like as if it was the first time she'd told me.
Yeah, I do that when I visit my mother-in-law because, you know, she's getting older, and it hasn't been defined as dementia, but you know, I think in older age and in stages of life, you start to reflect back, and there are key things that come to mind that you really want to hold on to, and you tell people those things over and over again because that's what is dear and core of you, you know, and so the things that you remember that brought you joy are the things you talk about.
Exactly.
Yep.
It was fun to sit with my mom because she had this photograph of all the men she had dated, and so she would bring out this photograph and she would go through and show all these men just like as if it was yesterday she'd gone out on a date. It was so fun to listen to her. You know, it gives you a perspective of what the times were like back then, what the dating rules were like. It was so fun, yeah. It was kind of like a trip down memory lane.
Well, the beauty of memories they're always with you. Good or bad, you've got memories. And beautiful or ugly, you've still got memories. And a lot of times we all want to remember the beautiful ones, but sometimes when you remember the ones that weren't so beautiful, it makes you stronger. The struggles that you go through make you stronger. The adversities that you have to face make you a stronger person. And when you have those issues and then you've gotten through that and you've got to figure out what you're going to do when you grow up. I mean, I've been through that a lot. I just thought there was something wrong with me until I said something to a colleague of mine one day several years ago, and she says, Marilyn, I think about that all the time, what I'm going to do when I grow up. You know?
What's sad is people who think that there is a stopping point.
Right.
And they think, if only I get to this point, then everything will be perfect. And not realize that, you know, growth is continuous. And if you're not growing through something, then you're stagnating. And, you know, and who wants to be stagnant? I love the change, and I get really excited, you know, when obstacles come. I get really excited because I know on the other side of that, if I can just hold on through that obstacle or challenge, on the other side of it's going to be something really exciting. There's going to be a great blessing. I just got to stick to it and move through it because you can't not go through it.
You're already in it.
So you can fight it, but you know, it's going to happen one way or the other. So you might as well joyously go into the challenges or whatever the obstacle is.
Right.
Exactly. That's correct. I know that for me, I have to admit that I've ran from obstacles before. The moving from city to city was definitely avoidance and trying to get away from or not having to deal with something or certain people or whatever. And they always show back up.
Yep.
It might be a different face, but it's the same situation.
Because you haven't learned. I like to think of it as growing with kids in school. You know, and I tell my grandkids, you know, if you don't do the work, you won't move to the next grade. Well, in life, if we don't make it through the challenge, we're going to constantly revisit that challenge in our lives over and over again. So you should master it while you're in it, accept it, get the most out of it that you can, because if not, you're going to revisit that challenge over and over and over until you finally understand.
You finally learn it.
Yeah, until you learn it. So, you know, it's a school of hard knocks.
Yep,
Exactly.
and you might as well learn it the first time. That's the way I look at it.
Exactly.
Because I know we probably all in our age, we have, in our young age, as Josie would say, we've all we've all gone through issues or challenges, and sometimes the same challenge comes up again because we didn't learn.
We didn't learn the first time.
Exactly. So, I think you said it very well, Josie.
I get
You might as well
excited because there's some
master
key
it.
things that I
Yeah.
know about myself that when I see them coming, I'm like, I recognize you now, and no, I won't go there again.
That's right.
You know,
You're not walking that road again.
I know that signal. Let me just take another path. Let me just. I got this. You know.
Very true.
Because I've been through a lot of different things. I mean, we all have.
We still, and we're going to go through some more
And
stuff.
that's right. I mean, we didn't
Thankfully, as long as we're alive.
and we didn't get to be this age to not have gone through some hard knocks. You know, life is not, I used to tell my kids, life is not all peaches and cream.
Nope.
It's not. It doesn't happen that way. And I think the reason why we're put into these challenges and are faced with these obstacles is to help us learn.
And grow.
To help us grow.
Well, I think, excuse me, I think you have to have contrast. If you didn't have obstacles, you wouldn't know what made you happy.
Right.
Right.
Right. And if it was all good all the time, you know, you'd still find something negative or bad, or you'd be sitting waiting for the other shoe. I know a lot of people who do, you know, when things are going good, they're like, oh, I know something bad's going to happen because things are too good. And I'm like, really? You're just bringing that into your life if that's what you believe. Yeah, there's going to be something that happen at some point, but I'm not waiting for it. I'm not anticipating. I'm enjoying the good times now. When it comes, I'll cross that bridge when I get there.
That's right. And I try to live in the moment. Right now. Live right now in the
You
moment.
can't go backwards.
You can't go backwards, and
You
you
can't
don't
go
know
forward.
don't know what's happening forward. I don't have a crystal ball. I mean, I'm intuitive, but I can't tell my future. You know.
Yeah,
I
we
can't
can
read my
plan
palm.
for the future, but we can't live it before we get there.
That's right.
You can choose your direction.
That's it.
Right.
Exactly. And I think that, a lot of us, because of the things that we've gone through, we know what we don't want. But we don't know what we do want. And I think that's where we can, the outside influences or who we're with, we just kind of drift along instead of choosing the direction that we want to go in.
And sometimes people spend so much energy focus on, I don't want this, and that's what they keep getting because that's all they're focused on is what they don't
Exactly.
want.
Right.
You know, you got to focus on what do you want?
What do you want?
You know, what will it feel like when you get it? You know, and live in that and imagine that instead of regretting or trying to go back and think, oh, if I did this. You can't, you know,
Exactly.
you can't go backwards.
You know, I started taking about 4.5 weeks ago a meditation class, and I've been really motivated and compelled to meditate in the morning and meditate at night. And it is a discipline. It definitely is. And it's developing that discipline. And they always say that it takes 21 days to form a habit. Well, it probably takes 21 days to form a discipline, too.
Yes.
And there's been a couple days where I probably missed, you know, like at night or something when I've just fallen asleep. But the meditation has really, really, really helped me. And then I signed up last month for a month of yoga. And I managed to get, I don't know, five yoga sessions in, which was pretty good because of my schedule. And I really felt better after those. And I really felt motivated and I felt energized. And I felt more limber because when I noticed through the hour of being there, the longer I held the pose or the longer I stayed in the position or moved in the way we were supposed to move, I became more limber and more agile towards the end. And I could feel that progression from feeling stiff maybe when I went in to feeling almost like Raggedy Ann when I left. And it was a great feeling that I was progressing, even though half the time I didn't know what I was doing. And there were a couple poses that they did, and I said to the gal next to me, I said, well, that's on my bucket list. Because I just couldn't move that way. You know?
But over time, if you continue doing it,
Yeah, so those are the things that we will be showing you in this retreat.
It's called Creating the Amazing You. And it's a 2.5-day workshop. It's in October 13th, 14th, and 15th. And we'll be at the Hyatt on West End and Short Pump. And we'll have one of the meeting rooms there at the Hyatt. And we're just going to create a wonderful environment where we're going to build a community of like-minded people. So not only will it be 2.5 days, but you're going to walk away with a bunch of friends that are going to be supporting you too.
Right, and a bunch of goodies too, which will be cool. So, well, one thing I want to talk about. We have some sponsors. Josie's one of our sponsors. So Josie, tell us what you're doing, what's going on.
So this Sunday is my Longevity Soul Purpose Party with a Purpose. You know, I've got multiple businesses because I love to do different things, but we have a party with a purpose every first Sunday at Artwork Studio, 320 Hall Street. Our guest speaker this month is a gentleman who will be talking about honey. He has a bee making honey business, and he makes natural honey, so he'll be talking about cultivating honey, some of the risk around that, and natural honey. So that will be from 3:30 until 5 o'clock on Sunday.
Great.
So I'm excited about that because Marilyn, you've been there as my speaker.
Yep, I was one of her speakers several months ago, and it's a really good function to go to if you get a chance to.
Yeah, networking and pampering.
Right. So is there a cost to
It's free for guests.
Free for guests?
Free for guests. Just come on, bring a friend, kick back, relax. We'll pamper your hands. You'll experience some relaxation. We got our essential oils for aromatherapy and a little bit of snacks, but just mostly fun and fellowship and networking and education.
Right. So it's a good event to go to. And I've been one of Josie's speakers, and I met a lot of nice people there, and you know, it's a lot of fun. So if you get a chance to go, where is it again? 320 Hall Street?
320 Hall Street, Artwork Studio at the corner of 4th and Hall Street in the Manchester district.
Right. So if you go 14th Street, it's just over the bridge.
Just over the bridge, coming from downtown Richmond.
And normally in downtown Richmond on a Sunday afternoon, there's not a whole lot of traffic, which
True.
is kind of nice.
Exactly.
Yeah, so she's got it at a good time. So, and one of our other sponsors, our partners, is Lisa Hazelgrove, and Lisa has a company called Lisa Healthy, and she is also a Niken distributor. She's been in Niken for a long time, and she wanted me to talk about the East Coast Healthy Lifestyle Expo, which is going to be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, August. I got October in the brain. Friday, August 18th, 19th, and they're having a special thing on Sunday, a special event on Sunday. It's called Becoming Your Best. That's $15, but if you would like to go, it's in Williamsburg at the Magruder Hotel and Conference Center on Pocahontas Trail.
I know where that is.
Yeah, so it's not far. From here, it takes about an hour. Wherever you live, I don't know where you live, but it's in Williamsburg, so it would be a nice weekend for you to go to Williamsburg. You can't beat it.
Go to the outlets on your way.
Go to the outlets. Go down to Colonial Williamsburg.
Yeah.
You got Busch Gardens. I don't know if you can put all that in one weekend, and still go to the expo. But it sounds like a good thing. You know, you can tour William and Mary. That's where my daughter went to school. But anyhow. So you can get in touch with Lisa. You can email her at lisa@lisahealthy.com. Or she said you can even call her on the phone. And her phone number is 804-539-3251.
What was that?
It's 804-539-3251.
Okay.
So, you know, that's a good thing if people want to go down and learn more about Niken and more about the program that they're having on Sunday. Let me see. They're going to have a professor there, Dr. Melanie Caldwell, who's a pediatrician, Randy Wolf, who is the World Ambassador for Family, And Barb Satterwhite's going to be there, and Dr. Mary Bowser, who's a professor.
I know Barb Satterwhite.
Yeah, I know Barb too. So, so there's going to be a lot of good things going on August 18th, 19th, and 20th. So give Lisa a call at 804-539-3251 if you are interested in going. I think it's a good thing. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, I like it. So, there's been times when my life has totally fallen apart. Totally. When I went through my divorce.
Or it felt like it was totally falling apart.
No, when I went through my divorce, my life was really falling apart, Josie. It wasn't it was falling apart. It wasn't like I felt like it. It was happening.
But you're here.
I am.
Yeah.
And I went through a very dark time in my life. And I was listening to country music. And I'm not a country music listener, okay? And I was listening to country music, and my daughter, who was living with me at the time, she says, how long is this phase going to go?
She must not have been a country and western fan.
And I said, I need to go through this because they tell stories in their songs.
Yep.
Yes, they do.
Rock music, a lot of times you can't understand what they're saying, okay? But country music, you can understand what they're saying. And they tell stories. And at that time, when I was down in the dumps, and it was darker than dark, and I didn't know how I was going to pull myself up from the bootstraps, I did. But I had to, country music got me through that. I know that sounds bizarre, but that's what I needed to listen to in order to get through, because they tell stories.
And they're always sad stories.
They're normally sad stories, but they're to me they were transparent.
But they have life lessons in them.
They have that's
Yeah,
right.
they do.
Have, and I needed to learn some life lessons because I was in a very dark period. And you don't get into your 6th decade of life or not going through a dark period at one time or so in your life. I mean, probably when you had cancer, that might have been
all 3 times.
There you go. She went through a dark period.
Yeah.
Maybe when you went through your divorce.
Yes.
And when when my dad died, it was a very dark time for me. And I wasn't the favorite kid, and I kept on asking the universe, God, whoever, why was I put in this position?
Of being the caretaker?
Yeah, why was I the caregiver?
Yeah.
Why was I the one that was with him? Why was I the one that he said to me, will you stay with me until the end? Why? I don't know. Josie must know, but I don't know, and
He trusted you.
He did.
He trusted you.
He did. He did. At the end, I mean, was I 34? No, I was older than that. I was 46. My dad had double bypass surgery. And he said to his doctor, who's a colleague of mine, he said, if you have anything to say, you have anything to tell me, don't tell me, tell my daughter because she knows what's going on. I was floored. That was the very first time I realized my dad might have had respect for me.
He respected, but it's so hard for our parents, that other generation before us. We've learned a lot about letting our children be themselves, but our parents, I think, in their own way of how they were reared, they wanted to teach us how to be with them.
Right.
And, all children are rebellious. We're all rebellious. But their generation had a different kind of norm for what they expected of their children. And if you didn't fit that or conform to that, there was friction.
There was friction.
There was friction.
Yeah. And when I was taking care of my dad, I went through a dark time. And it was difficult, but I pulled myself out of it. So the reason, Judy and I have been working on this for over a year, probably a year and a half. And we've both been through some tough times.
We have.
And we've made it through those tough times.
Exactly.
And we found the rainbow at the end of that tough time, which was really important. I know that that's what always gets me through, knowing that there's a rainbow over there. There's something over there that's going to say, job well done, you made it through, now let's go on to something happier. And hopefully not the next crisis.
Get ready for the next challenge.
Right.
It's cyclical.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It ebbs and flows like the ocean. You know, back and forth.
But you get to know yourself after. I think
do.
once you get through an obstacle, you have a better knowledge about yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Or at least you hope you do. And that, you know, that's where that self-exploration during this workshop will really help people, I think, that become in touch with themselves, have a higher level of awareness of themselves, so they can be making really conscientious choices about the way they want their life to be.
Right. Right.
For me, I mean, I really understand that, you know, I tell people all the time, cancer was such a blessing for me. And sometimes people don't understand why did what I say cancer was a blessing, but all the things that I desired, not all the things, but many things that I desired for my life came as a result of me having that experience. And first was getting to know who I am and being able to appreciate who I was.
Yes.
And knowing that I learned myself in those periods of solitude and quiet. But there were things I was praying for. I was praying to get out of my job because I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wouldn't have walked away from my job. I would have never had the courage to walk away and quit. You know, but through cancer, I walked away, you know. So in kind of a crazy way, it was a blessing for me to have it because I got my freedom that I was praying for. You know, I wouldn't wish it on anybody else to happen that way, but, you know, sometimes we get things coming to us in unexpected ways. And so, you know, don't block your blessings because it doesn't look like what you think it's supposed to look like. You know, just be still enough to hear, is this what I've been asking for in my life?
Yeah, that's why one of the things that we're going to be having at the retreat is meditation. Because I really feel that meditation, you can really get into yourself. You can listen to your own self. You can really learn a lot about your own self when you are meditating. And we're going to have a guest come at creating for the retreat. Her name is Rosemary Prophet, and she is an energy healer, and she is wonderful. I've gone to her several times, and she's just really great. And she's going to have a program about energy to enlighten people that how to handle your energy. And the ins and outs of the energy. I've learned a lot from her in the past couple weeks. You know, I'm a master Reiki, been a master Reiki for 28, 30 years, but she does energy healing different. And when I go there, it's amazing. She has helped me heal my rotator cuff and my tricep. So I really do believe that this is almost healed. I really do believe that. Because I said to her one day, I said, well, it's going to take about 6 months. She says, don't put that in your head, Marilyn. No, don't put that in your head. And I can pretty much do what I need to do now.
That's wonderful.
And 10 weeks ago, I mean, Judy was with me when I fell. She said I felt like a football player. And I said to her, I said, well, if that's like falling like a football player, I never want to play football because it hurts so much. And I couldn't move my arm. And the only thing I have done is holistic healing and homeopathy and taking care of myself and making sure I get rest. And this, when I was doing yoga, I was able to do the plank. I was able to do the vinyasa flow and get up, and I was amazed at what I could do. But also what I was doing, I was picking up, and I know that you all may be laughing about this, but I was using my grandson, my 10-month-old now, he weighs like 22 pounds, and using him as my weight and helping with the core. And he would just laugh and laugh, and he thought it was great, you know. And I'm trying to push him because he is a big kid for his age. And in
So you were multitasking.
Yes, I was.
Kids have dual purposes.
He finally took a couple steps today.
Oh,
Yeah,
how
10 months old. Yeah. Yeah, 10 months old.
Watch out, he's going to start running next.
I know.
Do you have a gate?
Oh, yeah, we have gates. And Jacob's always closing the doors for us, which is nice, you know. So, but there were a couple people. Judy and I went to a networking meeting last night, which was really cool.
Yes.
It was a brand new networking meeting in the area. It was called Rockstar, something like that. Richmond. Rock Center.
I can't remember the
what
name.
it was called.
Yeah.
Anyhow, it's an evening networking event, and networking events in the evening are hard to find.
Yes, they
So,
are.
but I wanted to say hello to Shannon Reynolds. I met her there, and it was nice to meet her. She's a property manager. And then Judy and I both met this guy, Jason Lemley. He was really cool. He's starting to get out there
person.
now. So, Jason, if you're there, Shannon, if you're there, just wanted to say hello to you guys. And then there was a gal there. Her name is Tara, and it said Tara Tupperware, where she sells Tupperware. Her name is really Tara Howard. I thought that was kind of cute, though.
Yes.
You know. Because I said to her, I said, is your last name really Tupperware? But that grabbed everybody's attention, you know? And she said, no, it's not. But I thought
you
that
remember
was,
her, though. because of that,
You
yeah.
remember her, you know? And then Judy and I are in the Natural Awakenings, and we'll be in there next month, too. There was an article in this month's, it's still out there on the... You can find it at the grocery stores and stuff, and health food stores. It's on page 10, and it talks about the self-realization retreat in Short Pump. So this retreat we're having is just really recreating yourself, realizing that
In a healthy way.
in a healthy way, in a natural way, because we like healthy, we like natural. I've been working in the holistic world for many years. Judy, what's the deposit? It's only costs what?
The deposit is only $50.
And that saves your seat.
Exactly.
And then we've got a payment plan, and if you want to know about that, just give us a call, because we're doing some redos on our website today, tomorrow, and within the next couple days. So check our website, which is
creatingtheamazingyou.com.
Yep. I've been working on recreating myself, so I can, so we can do this website. We've been working on this for quite a while.
Ever evolving.
Yeah, and it's a great feeling, isn't it, Judy?
It really is. We kind of self-taught ourselves how to build this website, and
Well, Judy built the website. I did
when we
the
finally went live, it was like it was an exciting moment, and I think we were really proud of ourselves.
Oh,
and-
we were screaming at each other on the phone, and Zen sitting there like, what is going on?
It's like birthing a child.
It is.
Exactly.
It is, Josie. It's like birthing a child.
The labor, and then there it is.
There it is.
Exactly.
And then you're recreating it. And now
Exactly.
you're recreating the recreation.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
Making it better.
We can always make it better, and you can make your life better, and that's why we're having this retreat, to help you make your life better. That is so important for all of you. For us, we're all still a work in progress.
Thankfully.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
Yeah, we try to be as positive a work in progress as we possibly can. My most difficult time there in the day is getting up in the morning. Except when I run out of sleep, then I get really mad at myself. But getting up in the morning is really hard for me. And once I do that, it's like, just throw it at me. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. Just give it to me. Because I'm ready to do whatever it takes to go.
I'm a walking asleep person.
Oh, are you?
Yes, I have a regular job Monday through Friday, and I get there at 8:30, but I don't really wake up till about 9:30.
Well, you beat me, because my biological clock doesn't really start until 10 o'clock. So, when the kids come, it's like I'm faking it till I make it till 10 o'clock. So it's a $50 deposit. It's up at the Hyatt Place. Look at our website, Creating the Amazing You. We are going to be redoing some of it, but it's up there. We're very proud of it. It was like Josie said, we birthed a baby, And
We learned a lot.
Oh yeah, we did. And that's why we are having this retreat, to help you learn, to help you find the new you. Because every day is a new me. Every day is a new you.
Yep. I pride myself on recreating myself
There you go. There you go. You know, if you don't like where you were 10 minutes ago, you can change it.
You can change it.
That's right.
You know, you can change
You can. And it's important to be flexible.
Right.
You know, you have to be flexible because life will do you in if you're not flexible.
That's right.
You know.
And remember, what you think about, Wayne Dyer used to say, what you think about expands. So if you're going to think about negative things are going to come up in your life. So think about positive things. And I want to thank everybody, near and far, worldwide, wherever you are. Have a great weekend. Have a great Thursday night or a Friday morning if you're over in Chiang Mai, Thailand, where my friend Marty is. And change your life today.
Yes.
Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.